What's going on, everyone? Today, that was a little rude, but today we're looking at another disk drive. Don't worry. We just got our leaf shell, our 420 build, and our blood splatter bleeding build all ready to go. Moving on to some other things now, because one, we've got some Opus boards with disk drives that work. We can go back and look at some of the BenQs, check the rails. This is probably going to be the best bet. This one was in the JTAG Blades Zephyr. It was supposed to be in that sort of client build, but we're swapping the board from here. We get to keep this one, and we're putting in the Beta NXC. If we can get one of these to work, great. It's for the 420 build. I'm not super worried about having one for the JTAG Blades, because obviously it's modded, so if we need to go all digital with that one, we can. The reason I bring that one up is I checked the ohms on this BenQ here, and it was exactly 420, 4.2 ohms. The rails are way off, so if I can get this one to work, this is also a BenQ, we could put that clear top piece on, and we can at least start the 420 build. We have another build I'm going to reveal. We need to cut a window for it. That one just needs a rectangle. That's kind of some of the stuff we're doing today. We got to kind of start over, get some shells going, get them painted, and then we have another one. Actually show you in here. We got one of the NFL faceplates that has all the inserts, and I was asked to do a Dallas Cowboys one. We're going to go ahead and cut out, not a normal window for that one, but we're going to get something cut out for that so that, well, we can get it going and painted. We'll be using one of the Opus boards for that, most likely this guy here, because I really wanted to keep this one, and this one needs a little bit of work still with the ring-a-light board. So this should be the disk drive that went to this one. We now need to take the water block pack off of this one. Got the water block and hardware off over there. I'm going to have to open that one up and see if the O-ring is the same condition as the slim one. I have a RIA 002. Pretty standard for a Falcon, but this is a Zephyr. I'm going to throw some heat sinks on it, get these cleaned up, and at least get it to where we can test out this disk drive. And I also want to check the rails on the 420 BenQ drive, the one that cut my finger off. Okay, it didn't cut it off, but, you know. Yeah, this one has a couple 3-pins soldered right to the board. It had LEDs on it when I first got it. And there is your JTAG wires right down there. Put it back together. Did the same thing to the 420 Falcon. So they're both ready. We're going to try this one first. Make sure it still works after dropping it. Do have our loud power supply there. Now the rails were really far off on this one, even more so I think than this one. But this one was pretty much completely dead, not even trying to read, so not expecting this to work as much on BenQs. They seem to have lasers go out. No, oh, okay, there you go. Makes that sound almost like something is like stopping it. Really? There it goes. Get out of here. Sweet. Alright, so still needs apparently a little bit of tweaking. Ejects. Alright, let's go ahead and try out the other one, which is the one that I figured out of the two, if one would work, it would be this one, because it was working fine up until, well, I guess it was a little finicky, even when Jacob R had it. Next up, the Zephyr. Oh, I did throw the Talus Moon Whisper fans back there. Wait a minute. Did I not plug it in? Why would I have done that? Well, something's not right. I guess I pulled that off while I was moving the board around, which I guess we can probably add a little more solder to that anyway. Looks like this was one that was swapped in while we were just going through trying to find one to work. Alright, take two on that. Hopefully that fixed it. It's no longer flashing, so there we go. Oh, almost missed it. There we go. Still don't know if this game is old enough. Nope. Still not working. Guess we could finish the disk drives once and for all. We got two more of the BenQs. We'll try the rail situation real quick, and then I think we're all done with that stuff. I mean, this one still doesn't work, but that's okay. We still might not have it in that one. A random low firmware Falcon with the HTG 85. This to me is the most nostalgic dashboard. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah. Ooh, it's trying. I will say both the rails on this one and the next one were way off, but I know the one inside here just overall was pretty rough, so would have been surprised if that one worked. This one I don't think is going to work either, but I am surprised. I know the last one, like, didn't do anything last time, and it seemed like it was really giving it the old college try, so. And if I remember right, this one was actually quite a bit higher on the ohms. Rails were also just as bad. I don't know, it was in slightly better condition, if you want to say that. I believe this was the first one I bought that I was hoping was an Opus, but it's just an early service Y1 with the peg broken off the back. I think it had the wrong sticker on it. Maybe it was this one that did absolutely nothing. Yeah. Oh, now it's doing stuff. Get out of here. Alright, get out of here. We went 4 for 4 on light-ons. We went basically 1 for 4 on BenQs, even though all three of these are trying way harder than they were before, so I guess that's a good sign. Now, I know at least this one has some corrosion on some of the inside parts, so we'd probably just replace that completely. We want to throw the other half of the shell on this and actually stand it upright and make sure it's good in that position as well. I lied. We do have one more Xbox. I was curious what this one was. It had no thing on the side and just kind of a random shell. I realized this is the Halloween one, and shells sort of got swapped around. So this Opus here actually has the Halloween sticker on it. So I'm just going to switch these real quick, get them labeled properly. And I do want to at least start thinking about this one, because just over 2 months from now, this board, and it looks to be all original, unserviced, but just over 2 months from now, it will be exactly 20 years old on Halloween Day. And I definitely want it ready for Halloween. Got the random top shell piece back on that other Opus. It's on the shelf. We have the disk drive that came out of our Halloween one, and then we also have the disk drive, well, the spare one that originally came in here. And our last Samsung drive is actually in this one here. that we technically haven't opened yet. We did take the shell off to see that it was bolt modded, but looks like with the top shell off, we've got some disgusting caps. And now this one turns on, but it goes right to the E73 error screen. But yeah, that can usually mean with Red Ring of Death systems, it's either completely destroyed, really disgusting, or maybe it got the red ring early on and then it was just kind of set aside. So, you know, maybe your disk drive really didn't have a lot of miles on it. Take it down a little bit farther. It's actually not that dirty, obviously, besides the fans. But looks like all the ones back here were okay. And I'm not worried about messing with this one. I would have taken it the rest of the way apart, maybe tried the heat gun, but with all these bad caps, I'm not even worried about this one. So this is the one that came out of the Red Ring of Death one. Pretty dirty. I mean, underneath it's clean. I was trying to figure out why the tray was getting stuck. Well, there you go. One's broken, and the one in here is slowly disintegrating. In fact, this, I went to tighten these up, and where this goes into is broken. See that? All the threads there. This side's okay, but yeah, that's kind of half of it. I think since this one's in the best shape in terms of the plastics aren't broken off of it, and hopefully they don't start to. We'll start with this one, open it, try all the different things to it, and I think this laser is still the best one. This is probably why it wasn't reading. That wasn't like holding steady. Okay, Halloween Xbox. Samsung, we put the original one back in, tried it, cleaned it, didn't really do much. Put the laser from the other one that was good, but both those other ones had a cracked plastic frame. So I think that's just why it couldn't hold itself steady. So with that good laser in this one, well, I'll be honest, it already worked, but now we're going to try it in the upright position. It's the more important test. Sweet. Still a little noisy. I might not have put the screws down all the way on the case. So I think we're done with disk drives finally for a little while. Got this stuff pretty much organized and no longer feel like this is a big mess, even though it might look like it. Got our stuff for sale here. The stuff that should be next. We got stuff that's kind of spoken for. This is going to be our Dallas Cowboys Opus board. This is our Beta NXC for the water-cooled client build. Got some broken ones here. This one technically works, but the fans are ramping up, and we'll have to just kind of let it do that one day, see what happens. Here we've got working boards that still have issues, so this one still has the bad BenQ that won't read, and the corroded stuff up here. Otherwise, it actually works. This one fully working, other than our connection issue with controller and the lights here. And our good working ones that don't need anything swapped out, other than the lens for the BenQ drives. It's our Y1 won't read, our 420 won't read, Zephyr blades won't read. And then our fully good ones here, our Halloween board and our other Opus, otherwise known as our Opus. I think it's time to start making some faceplates. We're going to make these, possibly this one, and this one. I deleted the next set of clips, so we're going to get caught up here. We're doing all the faceplates. First up, we got this one all cleaned up. No longer has all the yellow nastiness around all the edges. I mean, it's still old, so it's not perfectly white, but it's no longer like all yellowed, just in like a couple spots. And yeah, if you want a chance to win it, check out the membership. What else we got here? This is our liquid metal faceplate. I don't know why it's down here. I'm not going to do anything to that. But then we have the Dallas Cowboys. I went ahead and put the chrome doors up here. We're going to go ahead and paint the power button in just a few minutes. Chrome doors were taken off of this one here, this chrome faceplate. We put the yellow ones on there from the yellow faceplate, as well as the yellow USB door. And I kind of want to do another chrome build, but specifically SpongeBob. Next up we have this one here, which I haven't really done anything to yet, but this was the one that sort of went with the blood splatter panels that are on this one here. So we might be reusing this one for the Halloween build, or I'll just make another similar one. We'll look at the yellow one now, and this is going to be for our Toy Story Pizza Planet truck build. We've got the yellow faceplate. We just put all white buttons on there. I think that looks just really clean. And of course we've got Yo instead of Toyota. And the clear blue faceplate is down here just because, well, we swapped the blue doors off on the eyeball build and took the clear ones and put them on here. And then I took the clear ones off of this. And we put it on our toxic build. Now it's back and forth. I'm putting the clear yellow or the regular clear ones, but with the green behind the doors, it pretty much looks the same. And I also was going to put the yellow door down here. I kind of debated leaving no door on there, but I just really wanted on this one here. Let me know what you guys think. Should we leave it off, or we kind of like that little accent? Really, I just like the printing on there. And I still have this, and I don't know what to do with it, and I still don't even know what game that's supposed to be. So let's start getting some stuff cut out. We need a side panel for this one, a side panel for this one, and a couple hard drives with the normal oval windows cut out, which I've already done. So here's one. There's our other one. So this one is getting the model car inside the hard drive, which is obviously the Pizza Planet truck. So this is pretty much ready to get prepped for paint. On this one, we're going to do white on the top and bottom, but of course we want to match it to the car and have, you know, some like rust spots and scratches and stuff showing through. Same with the whole side panel and everything. Now for the side panels, this one I want to try a shape I haven't cut out before, which is literally a star. And then on this one I need more of a standard window that we can slide one of those smaller pieces of acrylic in, which we'll obviously use. I think there's actually two different kinds of yellow. There's one that's a lot more UV reactive, and then there's more of a standard yellow that kind of matches with the faceplate more. And here we go. So I literally printed out a star, put it on here, and marked kind of the corners to make sure it was all symmetrical, lined up in the center. I do still need to find, I don't know where my one little bit attachment is for the Dremel, so I can get those corners finished off. But I actually kind of want them slightly rounded. And I actually plan to put an LED on each corner of the star facing inward, and we'll probably even use the flashing blue ones, and that should make kind of a cool little situation. Our other panel here, smaller window, but we kept it in the center, and it perfectly fits one of these. So this should be flush in here. We'll put a normal window on the inside underneath. I have some decals. Maybe we'll do a printout, but I actually have some decals that are going to work for this. And then this will be over top, and we'll even try using maybe a little bit of the one-way mirror film. See if we can kind of tint it a little bit and not really show what's going on in there until it's all lit up. Power button, painted. We literally just put a sticker over it, painted it, took the sticker off. Pretty much right away as soon as I brought it back inside. Just took the sticker off. Some of these paints cured pretty quick, so you don't want it to dry to it. This stuff here is ready to paint. We've got a back panel, the front panel, cleaned up those corners, got these sanded. We have two of these ready to go. One's going to be painted blue, just like these. The other one for the Pizza Planet will be painted white. But before we paint it white, we're going to put a little bit of like brown or just random colors under it. Then do a white over top, and just kind of sand it back, revealing some, you know, rust or just scratches. Dallas Cowboys, blue and white, but also silver. And since I have another set of these besides this one with a little crusties on it, we'll get it cleaned up here. But I had another one of those OEM silver top pieces that's just an excellent shape. This one really is a great shape once we get that stuff off of it. So I actually want to use this, but I still want to paint the top for the Cowboys one blue to match the chrome memory card doors. We'll probably leave some other chrome trim pieces on there as well. And while we wait for this stuff to dry, I'm going to get another thing cut out here. We're doing another sort of jawbreaker style top piece. And this one's going to be a little bit more difficult to paint. We'll paint it separately from everything else because we want it to match those top and bottom vents we made that had all the different colors and then white on top. And then we sand it through in random areas to reveal the colors. And this stuff painted brilliant blue. Just use the rest of the blue on the parts for the Cowboys one. We've got the power button in there. I like it. Keep painting these random little things, getting them ready, and then each one's going to have its own video, finishing all that stuff up. Our vents, we did silver over the whole thing, and a couple random spots of the tan that we had left over from the minivan build. And just as a reference, this is kind of what we're going for here. The white just kind of has almost like bare metal showing underneath, assuming it's like aluminum and not rusting, and then the rest of the car has rust underneath and some spots that are just bare metal. So we just kind of sanded in spots to reveal the silver, and you can see a little bit of the tan. So it just kind of looks like a yellowed white part. And then right here we did the trim piece white, and I'm going to go red over top and then probably do the same thing, make it a little bit weathered like the red is coming off. Before I get the side panels painted on that one, because I still had to sort of make sure we're going with which type of board, you know, for the back panel, HDMI or non-HDMI. Still sort of figuring that out, but I think I might actually be using this Opus for our Yo build. And I've still got something to figure out here with the Blades Zephyr. Apparently a resistor was removed in order to avoid popping a fuse. That's in order to keep the Blades dashboard. So it would technically have to get a rebuilt NAND with an updated firmware in order to play really most games. For now I have a new problem I still need to deal with. We have a new issue with Vader. I'm setting up this SSD. About halfway through transferring a bunch of games and stuff, which has taken a while. I noticed it's getting pretty warm. Now for a 360, it's still pretty cold, honestly, but it was in the mid-50s and going up, and I could just feel like the whole thing was getting warm. We just did a temperature test, and this thing should not be going above 50 degrees for the most part, especially 55, 56, and climbing. And I noticed like 2 or 3 of these fans are not spinning anymore. Now, normally for 40mm fans, I use the Ace brand, and I haven't had any issues with those. These are actually okay gear, and I have a few others that are just UV. These are red LED that you can't buy anymore because I bought the rest of them for this build. And even some of those other ones, you could just hear the bearings don't sound great on them. Unlike the Ace ones, no matter how old they are, those I've never had any issues, like I said. So, this thing's going to have to get fully rebuilt in order to get the fans out. I'm going to have to order, I think Ace does have the clear ones with UV LEDs. I would definitely rather go with that. Unfortunately, I can't get red ones. I would go with just like black or something, but I think the UV might actually help out a lot and make some of that tubing glow a lot more. Since we're having that issue with the CPU on this one in terms of what it's reading and not actually what it is, because we've kind of tested both and it should be the same as the GPU, but it's reading a lot higher. And although, again, it's still not technically in like a danger zone, 71 is still technically normal for a standard Xbox. But when the chassis is 12 degrees and everything else is like 30 degrees and the CPU is that much higher, just not a fan. I think a pretty simple yet annoying solution would be to just swap these. Literally, just the motherboard, swap. I'm very confident this cooling system is good. It's just the reading issue because obviously it has a swapped out CPU and sometimes they can just be finicky in how they read. So anyway, I got that to figure out and some more painting to get done. And then of course we'll have an individual video finishing off these little builds here. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to not like, comment, or subscribe. And we'll see you in the next video. Oh, you sneezed on the camera.